Practice has been very intense because of the way that we played both those exhibitions. Um, it falls on me how we played the second half of that game against Arkansas and how we handled zone and defense in the Auburn game. So it's been very intense, and the guys have bonded together to try to, right all the ships the decision making and the play that we've done thus far.
And you guys turned it all over 9 times in struggle against Auburn. With a number that extraordinarily high, do you attribute that to maybe the offensive system not, living at pars that were, hey, it's exhibition, not going to maybe give as much effort as you would have really?
Well, I didn't put any offense in for either exhibition game. I kind of just gave them some particulars like try to get paint touches and just play together. We just started putting the system in this week. I really want to see how guys could make plays for each other, create what we call triggers to get two people off and make a decision. We didn't do well with that. We gave everybody the ability to do that, and we turned the ball over a lot. We're kind of backing that down to our 2-point guards pretty much on handling the ball and knowing who's going to pass it, who's going to shoot it, who's going to handle. And we got more. This week we've put in a lot. We had 2 practices a couple days ago, one yesterday and one today, our offense and defensive practices, and we finally put in our defensive packages, and we just started putting our offense in right now. Hassan is still laboring on a quad that we think we have at about 75-80%. He was not healthy against Arkansas. He wasn't healthy against Auburn, and that's a guy that I really am relying on this season. When he's healthy, he's pretty good, and he's frustrated because of the injury, and he's definitely not been himself at all. And that was kind of sad to see because I wanted to see him healthy play against those athletes from Arkansas and then against Auburn as well.
And you mentioned after the Auburn game that not even just kind of X's and O's basketball-wise, but it was more of a fight issue, like they're looking for 5 guys that would fight.
Mm-hmm.
What's the response been from the guys after you said that and kind of challenged them in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be careful, doing things publicly because I never blame my players, but we understood that they played zone for 40 minutes and our guards need to figure it out, being a point guard. But on the defensive end, we gave up 100 points or 99 points. You can't do that. I mean, we've worked on defense more so than anything from June until now, and it doesn't even look like it. And I think we've been allowing offense to dictate our defense. And if you're going to be playing at Memphis, you know that it's the opposite. We create the turnovers with defense and speed teams up to be able to get the opportunity to run and play offense. So we just got to switch that mentality.
Have you seen anything like that, like what you saw on the defensive end against Auburn in practice throughout the summer, preseason?
Yeah, I've seen some, but not to the point to where it happened against the last 10 minutes of Arkansas and the entire first half against Auburn.
Coach, besides the names having the exhibition scheme, there was some pop.
Mm-hmm.
Big Simon, right? I think that's how you say his name.
Simon, yep.
What did you like about seeing him?
Well, the one thing I love about Simon is that he's at a disadvantage and he's working so hard to try to catch up. He just got to the States 2 months ago, maybe, and he's learning a new system. He's learning new teammates. He's learning how to play the game the way we play here in Memphis, which is different from where he played overseas. And just to be able to go out there with heart and effort for 13 minutes and get 7 rebounds and play the way he played, his talent is there. When you see him play after practice, he's playing one-on-one against teammates, and he's in his comfort zone. But getting into the system and the scheme of things right now has been difficult. But to see him come in without playing a minute against Arkansas and do what he did against Auburn has definitely been fun. Yeah, he's actually lost 13 pounds, gotten into better conditioning because he wasn't doing really much of anything while he was waiting to see if he was going to get his waiver. I mean, a little workouts, but nothing major. And when he first got here, he just wasn't ready to play. He's another guy that's looking really good this week that we really brought him in to be a force, and we're going to need him to be a force.
You played, obviously, 15 guys against Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of days after wanting to cut that rotation down.
Uh-huh.
Do you think you've cut it down? Have you found those, 8, 9, 10 guys that you want to play?
The problem right now is the guys that are giving me the energy that I want don't have the amount of talent that the other guys have that aren't. And we got to get that to where everybody's exerting the same amount of energy at a very high level every possession down. And, yeah, it's going to have to be cut to 7 or 8. And the guys that we're going to rely on is the guys that I'm going to trust to go out there and do the job. And the rest of the group is just going to have to keep working and keep grinding.
And what stands out to you about San Francisco?
San Francisco, watching them over the years and having an opportunity to coach against them last year, very well coached. Offensively, they're very organized. They're going to move the ball. They're going to move bodies. They're going to try to, expose your pick and roll defense, expose your switching, expose the energy that you put into the ball because we like that, pressure the ball. And then defensively, they're going to get in the gaps and they're going to try to make life hard on us, especially after watching the Auburn game. Auburn played zone the whole entire game, but they got in the gaps and made it difficult for us to have driving lanes. So they're going to try to make it difficult for us to have driving lanes, and then offensively, they're going to move that ball from side to side.
Penny, what did you make of what Sincere Parker was able to do this Auburn?
Sincere hasn't come out of his shell yet because he's kind of waiting to see what's going on, but he is definitely an offensive weapon. But he's a guy that we know that can score the ball. For a career, he's averaged 13 points in like 20 minutes. So he understands how to put the ball in the basket, and we're definitely going to allow him to do that. We didn't have anything in for him in the preseason, in those 2 exhibition games, but since this week, we put things in for him. So it'll be much easier for him to get looks at the basket.
Were you, anything you've seen or heard or noticed or picked up on in the last week or 2 weeks? Is there anything that, are you nervous about this season? Or is there anything you've seen that scared you?
Man, yeah. 15 new guys, the way we played in those 2 exhibitions, even though we didn't put any plays in. We didn't put any plays in last year with PJ and those guys. They just went out there and competed. In the Carolina game, we lost that game without them having their best player, but we still competed. And then we went to Alabama and really had them down early, and they said, hey, let's take the fouls off, and nobody could foul out. And then it just became really a scrimmage like it's supposed to be. But the guys competed at a high level. We haven't competed at a high level outside of the first 10 minutes of the game against Arkansas, so there are some concerns about what's going on with this new group, but the 8 that we're going to trust has to go out there and get it done because it's new.
Why do you think that is, like in the preseason, not having the fight or the care factor, as you often call it?
Well, you don't have to recruit these guys before maybe a couple days, so you really don't get to know them. They don't really have to know your system. We're just going to get the talent, right? And it's a transactional situation where you go, hey, we want you to come to Memphis. We have this amount of money, NIL. We sign the guy, and you get to know him as the season is going on now versus already knowing who he was. We hadn't seen a lot of these guys play outside of the tape, of watching the tape before we recruited them, so you don't know their personalities. You don't know them personally, and you're getting to know them on the fly. And when you have a fully new team, it is difficult.
Coach, what's your thoughts on G League players being able to get approved?
That was very shocking. But if you're blessed enough to get a G League player after playing 2 years in the G League, you definitely should have an advantage because they've been playing a pro level. And nothing is shocking me anymore about the NCAA. That was something that I never thought could happen, but nothing is shocking me about the NCAA. So just to answer your question, I don't really know how to feel about that. Because a kid is like 19 years old, 20 years old, and still having eligibility and being able to come back after being a pro, just never thought we would have ever seen that.
After 2 results on the exhibition games, are you anywhere close to getting a consistent starting lineup?
I can honestly say no. I'm not getting out of the guys what I want to get out of them right now. And the pressure's on. And whoever you see Saturday is the guys that I trusted to do it, to start it off right away.
You mentioned narrowing it down to 2 point guards that are primarily handling the ball facility. Obviously, Doug McGinn, was that second guy? Is it Curtis Gibbons?
It's Curtis.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Curtis right now. Curtis is doing a better job of protecting the ball. Quante is a good ball player, but we're talking about point guards. Those are the 2 point guards right now.
And you see them playing together.
They can definitely play together, and they can definitely handle their own being on the court by themselves.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.